about the security challenges that Nigeria continues to deal with. And we're going to first start in Maiduguri, where we have standing by virtually via Zoom the police public relations officer in Borno State, Nahum Daso, to give us an update on the mosque bombing, as well as what the authorities are doing about an investigation that would perhaps pacify the public, who have again had cause to be worried about the state of affairs in the state. Thank you so much for joining the conversation this evening. I appreciate you for taking the time. I would like to just start by understanding what is, to the police, the official death toll, because some of our reporting indicates that the death toll has gone up over the last 24 hours.
Good evening, and thank you for having me. For the death toll of this incident, we currently have, initially it was 5 victims which lost their life, but currently we have 9 victims, which the death toll has increased to 9. 9 victims who lost their life, and initially it was 35 persons who were injured, but a lot has been granted discharge, where we have only 12 victims who are responding to treatment.
Right. And give us a situation report of what the police is doing about the public concern that has been re-echoed in the aftermath of this latest bombing. Soft targets everywhere. We do know that Borno State as a whole, in spite of all the security challenges over the last 1.5 decades, remains an economic hub. A lot of commercial activities in trade, a lot of activities agriculturally. Give us an understanding of the scope that you're dealing with here as a police command.
Well, I would say, firstly, I would like to condemn the incidents that happened. It is quite unfortunate. It was a deliberate act to embarrass security, and also a deliberate attempt which led to the lives of innocent citizens. And also it's an attempt to affect the sustainable peace enjoyed in Borno State. Over the recent years, Borno State has recorded sustainable peace, especially in Maiduguri municipal, where we have not recorded such incidents in a very long time. With these incidents that happen, it has raised concern of members of the public in regards to how we do our work. But we would like them to understand that this is what we are doing right now, is that we want to work closely with members of the public to see that we police for the people and by the people themselves, to see that we are having a community policing initiative. Part of the efforts of the Commissioner of Police, Borno State Command, CP Nazir Abdulmajid, immediately after this incident, was that the police we had a swift response at the scene. In less than 10 minutes, we were able to move to the scene, where we cordoned the area. The explosive ordnance disposal unit done a good job to also sweep the area to see if there are secondary explosives there. Nevertheless, the timely response also aided the victims which were affected and taken to the hospital were being presented with emergency response, which also helped in reducing and mitigating the loss of life and other properties. So we have held sensitization for the community members, especially the worshippers and religious leaders, and the stakeholders who are the Lawan, the Bulama of those areas. So we are still on top of investigation in this matter. And once we are done with the investigation, once we unravel the truth, we are going to avail members of the public with what our findings are.
And considering this happened on the eve of this year's Christmas, how has that changed your plans for beefing up security across the state? Or has there been any change because of this attack?
Prior to the attack, we already had sufficient deployments of other relevant security agencies. Although our attention was mostly concentrated around worship centers due to the Christian worship centers festive period. But nevertheless, immediately after this incident, today being the 25th of December 2025, which is also on a Christmas day, we understand that it's a day where we're going to have large convergence of members of the public at worship centers and recreational ground. The Commissioner of Police drafted a deployment of over 1,000 police officers, which is an increase plus to strategic locations, enhanced patrol, and also at entrance of both worship centers and public spaces, where every individual and motorists vehicles are being scanned before they access these facilities.
And considering that Borno State remains the epicenter of the Boko Haram insurgency, alongside all the other terrorist groups that are operating within the area, what is your understanding of the scale of the problem that you're dealing with here? I mean, it's one thing to zero in on Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, but there are other soft targets in different parts of the state. Is the police able to scale up and measure when it comes to the scale of the problem that we're dealing with here? It does look like we've lost our connection to Nahum Daso, the police public relations officer in Borno State, who has given us an update on the latest bomb attack on a mosque in Gamboru Market in the capital city. I believe we have him back. Don't know if you got the question, but the question I initially asked before we lost the connection was around the scale of the problem that we are dealing with here. I mean, markets, schools, that obviously are not necessarily active right now, but worship centers. Looking at the scale of the problem, can the police guarantee public safety to a certain degree, considering how wide the state is?
Well, with the help of other relevant security agency, we know that Maiduguri has been under state of emergency, where the military under the Operation Hadinkai, a joint collaborative security effort with the has helped us in mitigating these particular cases. So we believe that we are confident that we remain dedicated in our work to ensure the safety of members of the public, and we are competent enough to handle this issue. We are not going to allow such incidents to happen, and we'll keep on doing our best with the help of members of the public who are going to avail us with timely information. We are going to curtail these issues.
Right. And finally, before we let you go, what is the message of the police to the public, especially in Maiduguri, who are concerned about their welfare and their well-being?
We want to call on them not to panic. They should keep on supporting us with timely information. We are doing our best. For the residents of Borno State, we have attested to the successes and breakthroughs that security agencies have had over the years. We want them to be confident in us as we continue to do our best in ensuring their safety. Whenever they see something, they should tell us so that we'll be able to take prompt actions in that regards, please.
Nahum Daso, Public Relations Officer, Borno State Police Command, thank you so much for the update and appreciate you very much for joining us on Daily Politics.
Thank you for having me too.